The 5 top reasons of police mistakes and that help us win DUI cases for our clients is, number 1, police officers write poor reports, whether it's because of poor note-taking, whether it's because of a lack of intellectual capacity, quite frankly, whether it's a problem with when they do it, they wait too long to do it, and whether it's a fact that they don't accurately take the information down as it occurs. That is the number 1 mistake police officers make, and we can explore those issues, and oftentimes we do that will make us win DMV hearings and win court cases. Second issue is improper collection of evidence at the scene. Police officers almost never interview passengers in the car who could establish a drinking timeline different than what the driver will tell the police officer, thus creating inconsistencies. They simply don't do that. They also fail to look in the car for evidence, open containers, things of that nature. Third thing they do wrong all the time is improper collection of chemical test evidence. For example, in order for a test to be validated, a breath test, called an evidentiary breath test, under California Code of Regulations Title 17, there needs to be a 15-minute observation period, continuous observation, where the officer observes the arrestee. Oftentimes, these chemical tests are being taken at a station. When the officers get to the station or the jail, they have to secure their weapons. When they do that, they open their trunk. They never take the defendant out because it would be unsafe. Now the defendant's in the car. The officer no longer sees them. The trunk's blocking them. They take about a minute to secure their weapons. They close it. They walk them right into the jail, and the chemical test takes about 10 minutes to happen. So we have a break in that 15-minute window. And that makes it a violation of Title 17. And that's super important in DMV APS cases, because if we can show that by evidentiary testimony, it shifts the burden back to the Department of Motor Vehicle. When that happens, now they have to call an expert to fix that problem, and they never want to call experts. Another issue we see, number 4, is the officers fail to properly collect blood evidence. And what happens is you get taken to the station, the cop is with you, and they're not really watching the blood test go on. They're not seeing exactly what the nurse or phlebotomist is doing. They're normally filling out paperwork. It's been our experience in the thousands of DUI cases we've handled here that the cops are just not watching. And so you later learn that when you get them at DMV, you cross-examine them, you ask them, what did the nurse do after she drew blood? And you have them describe in detail, taking the blood out, putting it in a vial. Did you see anything else, officer? We'll ask him. And undoubtedly they'll say no. What they're missing, because they're not paying attention, is the inversion of the blood vial so that the preservative, which is sodium fluoride, and the anticoagulant that's in the vial mixes properly with the blood. If that's not done correctly, then fermentation can occur. And if fermentation occurs, we use that at a DMV hearing, and it shifts the burden back to DMV, so you wind up winning the APS action. And you use the same argument in court. And finally, the fifth thing that they do wrong is they seem to lack the true understanding of field sobriety test. They have basic training in field sobriety test, and oftentimes, a majority of the times, they improperly instruct and demonstrate and actually record how the person performs the test. Additionally, they don't use the standardized testing. There's 3 standardized testing of field sobriety tests in California. Officers really don't understand those tests. They use the hand pat test, or the finger count test, or the finger to nose test. And the reason those tests aren't standardized, because it is subjective versus an objective standard on the standardized tests. So there's no way to really quantify and gauge your performance. In addition, officers do a lousy job in field sobriety tests, the location. They don't factor in fatigue, physical abnormalities of the person, overweight, people that are overweight, a grade, rocks, dirt, gravel. They just do a horrible job in all those areas. And I tell you, as a lawyer who has done thousands of DUI cases, it is one of the most fertile areas of cross-examination to help your client win a DMV APS hearing and actually win a trial in court.